Today is the second episode of the chakra series where we're talking about the root chakra, the basis of all your spiritual energy, my guy. The first dimension of consciousness. If we can't get this one right, there's no point in even thinking about third eye and enlightenment and astral projection and them thing there. Yeah, it all starts here in the physical reality. This is why this is such an important episode and I'm so fired up to talk about this, bro. Yeah, man, since we're talking about the root chakra, we're also talking about the nature of intuition as well, and this whole intellect versus intelligence debate, which intuition is the trait, the defining trait of a purified and awakened root chakra. But also the blockages, that's what we're going to be talking about as well. The blockages of like fear, hopelessness, childhood trauma, which is the base, right? All my traumatized babies say what? Everybody in Western society should be saying what? Unless you've done your shadow work, of course. Lol. Speaking of shadow work, we'll be talking about ways to purify and awaken this chakra, as well as my own personal stories when it comes to opening this chakra, which means we're talking about my own traumatic events. Fun. Absolutely fun. But I'm only doing that to help you contextualize kind of your own journey. Your because again, I have to stress this. This chakra is not classed as a spiritual chakra. It's very based here and now. And this is just about awakening ourselves to the power of grounding in physical reality, in the power of your intuition. But you can't get there without kind of reflecting upon what's holding you back in the now, based off of the things in the past, right? And I feel like the intuition, before we start, the intuition is an ability that many of us are out of touch with because of the destruction of feminine feeling energies in this society, where we're an extremely mind and intellect dominated species. And that is a reflection of the two hemispheres of our brain not being in sync. We are so mind dominated, hyper masculine beings. Even a lot of the women, you know what I'm saying? It's just how it is. And obviously women are more in touch with the feeling universe than men, for sure. But because they've been indoctrinated into this society, we see, I'm trying to not be controversial, but we do see the destruction of the feminine mindset into this new thing that is causing a lot of marriage and a lot of, I'm not saying that men don't, because men are also hypermasculine and dominated by that sphere, but this is why we can't get any connection, right? So anyway, chapter 1, baby, the root chakra explained, and hopefully you understand what I'm talking about this whole feminine and masculine balancing of energies, right? We'll start off with, what is the root chakra? A while back, I perfectly just summed up all of this information, all of the vital information about the root chakra into like a 3-minute video, which I think is the perfect way to preface this whole podcast going deeper, because I don't want to spend too long explaining things and all of that. So I want to spend more time on understanding and transcending this chakra, because again, it's just the physical. We're not even going spiritual here, guys. You know what I'm saying? So here, man, take a look. All right, Dad, teach me how to activate my root chakra.
Hold on, I need to check how unbalanced your root is before I can teach you. Just answer these questions.
Okay.
Alright, how anxious do you feel in everyday life on a scale of 1 to 10?
10.
How depressed do you feel in everyday life on a scale of 1 to 10?
When I'm not anxious, like 8.
Do you often get into arguments over things that don't matter?
Well, they matter to me.
Okay, last one. How was your childhood?
Traumatic, Dad. I think I suffer from abandonment issues because of you.
Okay, you're done. We need to do some serious work on this chakra.
Really? What's wrong with it?
Your root is hella imbalanced, son, and it's causing you to live in constant survival mode or deep depression.
But how do you know it's because of my root chakra?
Son, this chakra deals with survival and security. You see, it's the first chakra to develop within your body and is your sense of safety. As a result, many of your inner child experiences get imprinted onto the root chakra. So if you or even your ancestors were subject to great amounts of fear or uncertainty, this will manifest as a blocked root chakra.
That's so trippy. So how do I balance it?
Remember how I said that the chakras are like the gates to the dimensions of our perception?
Yeah, last episode.
Well, the root chakra is only concerned with basic survival. So to activate its deeply powerful energy, You must become in tune with your physical being. In other words, get out of your head.
All that for some basic ass advice. Thanks, Dad.
I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying, son. The root chakra is merely the start of your spiritual awakening, the building blocks of your Kundalini energy. In indigenous times, we would be ultra present in our physical reality and use our Muladhara energy to simply survive and maintain our health. But since we live in the age of convenience, we've stopped caring about basic survival and instead misdirect our energy into egoic matters like politics or social media or even our own relationships.
Is that why I get so offended by things I see online? Because my ego associates its survival with other people's opinions.
Well, exactly. How do you expect to spiritually awaken if you're treating everything as life or death?
Oh, I get it now. I've never acknowledged that everything is divine in the present moment. Someone with a balanced root chakra rarely gets sucked into survival mode because they're too busy being in their physical reality. Dad, could you give me some practices to help align my root chakra?
Well, the Shilajit is a great start, but for 1 month, become consistent in taking care of yourself. Develop a morning and night routine, connect to nature, exercise, but above all, begin to transcend your current perspective by trying to understand situations. Create the conditions necessary to transmute your root energy into the next chakra, the sacral chakra.
Did you see? That is essentially all of the vital information, the basics, the blockages, the solution. Now you have it. Cheers. This was the fourth episode of Break the Matrix podcast. Love you, bye. Alright, I'm fucking with you. Obviously, yes, that was the detailed cliff notes, but there's still so much more that you need to unpack when it comes to the root chakra. Guys, the root chakra is, yes, like I said, the foundation of our spiritual energy, but we also need to understand it as the first major wheel, meaning the first dimension of consciousness that we can experience, right? There's two ways of thinking of the chakras, right? There's the traditional way of the wheel, spinning clockwise, but there's also my idea of it as in, I don't know if it's my idea, if somebody else has thought of it, but the dimension of consciousness that you're able to unlock once you purify and awaken it properly, right? This root chakra allows you to feel survival, safety, stability, and your basic instincts. It's the center of intelligence for that way of being. Okay, whenever you feel like you're in survival mode, whenever you feel, this is what I'm saying, the purified version of survival mode is intuition, living in alignment with your physical body and what it's telling you, right? When you think of root chakra, think of your most primal self. Think of how tree roots draw water from the soil. Think of a deep breath and how, for example, your lungs are literally your vegetation. You breathe in, and if you look at TDD, you should pull this up actually. If you look at a picture of the lungs, they look just like tree branches. The alveoli, you know what I'm saying, is there's a massive connection between your physical body and your outer projection and nature. You know what I'm saying? So it's where your root chakra is where the life force that animates our existence enters our body through grounding and connecting into our physical body. Like Eckhart Tolle says in The Power of Now, he goes, the body is the passage to enlightenment. You know what I'm saying? It's true. A lot of spiritual teachers thought you can gain enlightenment, like even the Buddha, he thought you can gain enlightenment through denial of the body, through like crazy fasting, not just like 60-day fasting, but mad fasting, denying sex, denying bodily pleasures, and denying this aspect of this animalistic aspect of your consciousness. But no, it's through the body that you can achieve higher and higher and higher states. Yeah, that's the basics of it. Basically, like it's located in your gooch. That's where the root chakra is actually located, at the base of your spine, your perineum.